All Muslims will go to paradise eventually. But no non-Muslim will go to paradise. Why? Because even though they committed all these good deeds, the worst sin that anybody could commit is what? To say that Allah has a partner. See, think about it. You know, okay, he smokes crack, he smoked cigarettes, he drank whiskey, he robbed banks. But to say that the creator of the heavens and the earth, to say that the creator of the heavens and earth has a son, that's worse than anything you can do. Why? Let's think about it. It's a part of the human being's nature to feel good. That's a part of the human being's nature to want to feel good. Now, I'm not justifying getting high. Getting high is a major sin. But it's a part of the human being's nature to want to feel good. Using coke makes you feel good. Using opium, codeine, makes you feel good. Smoking a spliff, or whatever they call it nowadays, bogey, we used to call it back in the day. Smoking some weed, that's the white kids. Smoke, right? White kids say that, right? We don't say weed. We say herb, right? Grass, not grass, right? Because every culture has their word, right? Right? But whatever it is, smoking that dope makes you feel good. That's natural. But it's not natural to say that God has a son. Sex is natural, isn't it? Yeah, we know that. We know that. We're not talking about with your husband and wife. Sex is natural, and the feeling of sex is a natural feeling. Right? Allah gave the human being that feeling. And we should try to fulfill that feeling. Now a person says, well, I ain't got to get married. You know, he looked good. Hey, what's up? Right? But it's not natural to say that God was born. Think about what you're saying. God is born? That's not natural. That's unnatural. It's natural to want to get paid. It's natural to want to have some cash in your pocket. That's natural. Every human being has that naturally inside of them to want to have some paper in their pocket, right? But it's not natural to say that God was put on a cross at the hands of somebody that he created, and he couldn't even protect himself. He was put on a cross and he died. And think about it. There's a verse in the Bible that says that when Jesus was put on the cross, and the Christians believe Jesus is God and the Son of God, that when Jesus was put on the cross, he said, they say he said, Ila, ila, lama sabachthani. My God, why hast thou forsaken me? Why are you leaving me? Is this the statement of a God? Just think about this. How can God be looking down off a cross saying, you know, the other day I was in the airport. I bought a Newsweek magazine that had the story of Richard Pryor. Richard Pryor said, as he was sitting in his wheelchair, he said he had this dream. We all know Richard Pryor. He's real funny, right? So he told this joke. He said, one day I was dreaming, I was sitting in my wheelchair and in this church, and the Lord spoke to me. And he said, Rich? He said, yes. He said, this is the Lord. He said, yes, what, Lord? He says, I want you to do something for me. Come a little bit closer. This is last month's Newsweek. Come a little bit closer. I have something to tell you. He said, anything, Lord, anything. He said, can you please help me down from here? Now, this is not to make fun. But think about, see, this joke that Richard Pryor said, this is not even funny. You know why? Because it shows the reality of how people have taken the creator of the heavens and the earth and brought him down to a lowly position. Because that statement that Richard Pryor made is exactly what Christians are saying that he said in the Bible. My God, why hast thou forsaken me? Please, somebody help me. Now, do you think that the Muslim who commits a sin, no matter what kind of sin it is, and may he get far away from those sins, do you think that Muslim who believes correctly in Allah, though he commits a sin or she commits a sin, is going to be worse off than a person who takes their garbage out every week, every day on time, and helps the old lady across the street, but believes that God has a son, is going to be better off than that person? You believe that God was created and born on December 25th? You think you're better than the person who drinks wine? I mean, think about that. You're saying that the creator of the heavens and the earth was created himself? What could be worse than that? What could be worse than saying God is born? That God, the Creator, is born. And he died. If he died, then who was running this universe when he was there? Who? The Holy Ghost was. You can't say the Holy Ghost was because they're all equal, remember. You can't say Jesus was doing it because, remember, he died. Who was running this universe? Brothers and sisters, dear listeners, if you think that God dies and he has a beginning and an end, if you think that God would die for a millisecond, not an hour, for a millisecond, then this whole universe will be destroyed. Because the heavens and the earth is in his hands. And if he were to die, it's over for us. So if the Muslim commits sins, and they should not commit sins, but we're human, then if he turns to his Lord and says, oh Allah, please forgive me, and he doesn't put this brother in between himself and his Lord, saying, oh Anwar, this is Brother Anwar on my right here. Anwar, would you please, I'm calling on Allah through Anwar. Well, no person in their right mind is going to do that. Then what's the difference between Jesus and him? Except that Jesus was a prophet. So if that Muslim calls on Allah by himself, then Allah will forgive him. But no one will be forgiven who says that God has a partner. No one will be forgiven that says that Allah, the Creator, was born or he died or he had a mother. Just think about that. The one whom Allah created gave birth to him. All you women who have children, can you really imagine, in my conclusion, can you really imagine that the baby that came out of your womb, all that afterbirth, the placenta, all that stuff that you're going to have to eventually wash off, that beautiful bundle of joy created you. You carried that baby for a full term or maybe prematurely, 9 months in your womb. What you ate, it nourished itself from what you ate. What you drank, it nourished itself from what you drank. And then when the baby comes out, it can't even defend itself. A humble little creature that can't even speak intelligibly. You saying that child is your Creator? That's what you're saying when you're saying Mary gave birth to God. She had to take the baby and wash it off, but that's the same creature that created her. When did it have time to create her when it was in her womb? I mean, think about it. These concepts are foreign to the very logic of human beings. So that Muslim who commits a sin, may Allah forgive him. But the only way a person who is not a Muslim is going to be forgiven for their sins is that they come to Islam and they become a Muslim. That's it. Because the sin that they're committing is greater than any sin. They're not worshiping Allah. They're worshiping something that he created. And I think we don't have enough time. That's it. It's time for prayer. Maybe we'll finish these questions. The next one says, how long does it take to actually become a true Muslim? After Salah? Okay. Well, to answer this, and this is after Salah, it takes as long as it takes. A true Muslim is only known by Allah. I can't tell this brother he's a true Muslim. He can't tell me I'm a true Muslim. Allah knows who's true because I can't look in his heart. But Allah knows who's true. As for the outward appearance, that's all we can deal with. What the person does outwardly. And Allah knows this.